Ohio State versus Minnesota at home Saturday night on AJ Let's Talk Sports podcast and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe for all my latest content. And it is going to be a big one, boys. And who's ready for it? But first, we're going to go into a recap special with Ohio State versus Washington, 24-6. This just happened last Saturday afternoon. Ohio State improves to 4-1, and they're undefeated in the Big Ten as well. Washington fell to 3-1, and they're 0-1 in the Big Ten. The win snapped Washington's 22-game home winning streak at Husky Stadium, and we broke it. With this, Ohio State leads the all-time series at 10-3 against Washington and has now won 5 straight matchups. Take a look at some key performances that happened last week. Julian Sayin went 22 of 28 for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith caught 8 with 81 yards and an 18-yard touchdown. On the ground, Ohio State rushed for 149 yards with Bo Jackson leading the way with 80 yards and 17 carries. The transfer from West Virginia, C.J. Donaldson, added 39 yards and 9 carries and also had a touchdown. Donaldson also caught a 4-yard touchdown pass from Sayin in the fourth quarter, sealing the win. Taking a look at some defense. Ohio State's defense dominated, holding Washington only 234 yards. Caden Curry was a standout beast mode player on the defensive line, and he looked freaking studly. 11 tackles, 3 sacks, and 5 tackles for a loss. Caden McDonald also had a strong game. He had 7 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for a loss. Washington's offense was largely neutralized. Their starting quarterback, DeMond Williams Jr., was sacked multiple times and had a minus 28-yard rushing. That's hilarious. The Huskies converted just 1 of 11 in third down attempts, and they were held without a touchdown even after multiple trips in the red zone, and the Buckeye defense in the red zone holds firm. A key play in the fourth quarter, McDonald made a 4th down sack that effectively sealed the game. Turning points. Ohio State's offense was slow to start. For the first score came in about a minute 8 left remaining in the first half. The 18-yard Sayin to Smith touchdown. That late first half touchdown was crucial, though, giving Ohio State momentum and the lead into the half. Washington had multiple red zone chances but couldn't cash in with touchdowns. Ohio State's defense continues a trend through this game. They've yet to allow a red zone touchdown all season, and for Ohio State's coach Ryan Day, this was his number 74 and 10 in his career, giving him the best winning percentage among active head coaches at that point. Coach Day with the best winning percentage so far right now. What do you think about them apples? Chew on that. Now let's take a look. We're taking Ohio State versus Minnesota. This is happening tomorrow night, Saturday night at 7:30 kickoff. It's going to be at home at the Shoe. And who's ready for this? Taking a look historically, Ohio State has historically dominated this series. The Buckeyes lead the all-time series by a wide margin, 47-7. Fleck is not going to row the boat in Columbus, I'll tell you that much. Ohio State opened as a heavy favorite and a 22.5-point spread. Will they cover? I have no clue, but I think they will. Their offense is starting to go, and I think Coach Day, an offensive coordinator and play caller, Brian Hartline, is going to give Julian Sayin more opportunities to throw it deep to Jeremiah Smith. At 2025, Ohio State's defense is elite, especially scoring defense, allowing only 5.5 points per game. And the red zone, 0 touchdowns. We just talked about that. Minnesota is more of a defensive team and tends to run a methodical, physical offense, which could hold a problem because Michigan has done that to us. So who's going to be battling in the trenches? Minnesota has faced injuries in the backfield, which weakens their home game, though. So taking a look at strengths and weaknesses. Ohio State's dominant defense, especially stopping offense in the red zone. Efficient quarterback play, Julian Sayin. Balanced offense with threats in both run and pass, and experience handling high expectations. Ohio State's weaknesses, though, if Minnesota can force mistakes, even an elite defense can crack. They're overconfident, possibly underestimating Minnesota's defense, keeping consistency in run game versus a top run defense. So key matchups here. Can Ohio State's offensive line open holes and protect in key moments? Can Ohio State mix enough plays to avoid being predictable? I think so. That answer is yes. We're good. So taking a look at Minnesota's strengths. Strong run defense allows low rushing yards, the ability to pressure pass and disrupt passing lanes, physical style that can control tempo if execution is clean. Their weaknesses. Their offense lacks explosiveness. Their red zone efficiencies. Injuries and running backs weaken one of their primary offensive tools. They may struggle to sustain drives versus a defense as good as Ohio State's. If they fall behind early, playing catch-up is a dangerous game. Key matchups for Minnesota. Can Minnesota's defense force turnovers? Can their passing game compensate if the run game is limited? No. Key players to watch. Julian Sayin. His accuracy and decision-making will heavily influence how well Ohio State's offensive flows. Like I said, though, I think Coach Day and Brian Hartline are easing him into the system. Easing him in, which is fine with me. You don't want to baby him on a column, but you're just going to ease him in. Give it a little tap-tap. Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State, wide receiver, offensive weapon, especially exploiting coverage mismatchups. I'm trying to say, I'm thinking that Brian Hartline is going to let Sayin let it loose, because especially against a team that we've beaten 47 out of 7 our whole entire all-time, I think he's going to let it go. Ohio State's defensive line, front 7, to keep pressure on Minnesota's QB and disrupt their run. Drake Lindsey, the Minnesota quarterback, his ability to manage pressure, make throws, and avoid mistakes will be crucial. Minnesota's front 7 in the secondary, if they can generate pass rush or force Ohio State into mistakes, they might stay competitive. So there's some predictions here. According to the data on the ESPN data and all that stuff, there's a slight lean towards Ohio State at 38-10. This is in line with some previews, though. So turnovers are big plays by Minnesota. It could be a pick six or a kickoff return, could swing momentum, but I don't see that happening. If Minnesota's defensive line pressures Sayin often, Ohio State's offense might struggle, which I do agree with, especially since Minnesota's defense could stop the run. Injuries, weather, or special teams errors always pose a variables, but Ohio State gets complacent or slow starts. Could change the tide for Minnesota, but I don't think it's going to happen. Some have it 38-10. I'm going to go ahead and get on this ESPN app right now and see what the over-under and the spread is right now, as of right now at like 5 o'clock on Friday. The over-under is 41.5, so they're calling it a low-scoring game because of Minnesota's defense. Now, they are 3-1, so it could possibly, I won't call it a trap game because we're at home, but it might actually be, they're predicting it could be closer than they think, but the spread is 23.5. So you think, what, 24-7? Is that, no, about 30 to 14. 30 to 14, that will cover. I like that. I'm going to go 30-14, but it could be less for Minnesota. Let's go 30 to 10. That puts you at 40, but that's going to be under. Oh, well. That covers and puts you at the under. We're going to pick the under. 30-10. Ohio State wins it, and that is how you do it. Love you guys. God bless. Tip the waitress.